In the heart of Utah's Uintah Basin lies Skinwalker Ranch, 512 acres of pure enigma, mysteries stretching back decades, maybe even centuries, where UFOs hover and time portals open up. We're going to remote view it. Let's get into it. The pop culture of Skinwalker Ranch kicked off when the Sherman family moved in. The Sherman family noticed weird things happening, and they were happening at a fast pace. So fast that investigative journalist Linda Moulton Howe got a raw story straight from Terry Sherman himself. She reported him saying, quote, "Lights poured from a circular doorway in the sky. Cattle were mutilated, and a giant wolf 3 times the normal size shrugged off rifle shots like they were nothing," end quote. That bulletproof beast and those mid-air portals, they terrified the Shermans, so much so they sold the place by 1996. But the strangest never stopped. Jump to 2024. Season 5 of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch cranked things up. Brandon Fugel's team, with Eric Bard and astrophysicist Dr. Travis Taylor, unleashed helicopters and drones, snagging footage of UFOs zipping around the Triangle Zone. Multiple UAPs darting unexplainable lights lit up their screens. Then, a cow dropped dead right where those objects played hide and seek. They drilled into the mesa too, defying old warnings, and found signs of a massive metal buried deep. A Navy pilot turned whistleblower showed up, triggering an event so wild it floored them. And here's the kicker. They chased a decades-old UFO crash rumor, uncovering something in that mesa that could rewrite the story. But what if all this is a setup? Dr. Stephen Greer, a big name in UFO disclosure, dropped a bombshell on the Theories of Everything podcast and the Sean Ryan Show in 2024. He claims Skinwalker's strangest might not be alien at all. It's staged. Greer says secretive government programs took over the ranch, using top secret tech like holograms and drones and electromagnetic gizmos to fake otherworldly encounters. Picture this. Those doorways Howe reported may be projections. That bulletproof wolf? A test from some black project toy. He ties it to his theory that the military-industrial complex pumps out an alien threat narrative to keep us all distracted, hiding the real deal, reverse-engineered ET tech they've already cracked, flying around as man-made alien reproduction vehicles. Is Skinwalker a paranormal hotspot or a government smoke and mirrors lab? Or could it be both? From Howe's 90s chills to Season 5 UFO hunts to now Stephen Greer's new wild twist, there's something going on at Skinwalker, and Stephen Greer, he brings the receipts. We want to know what's going on. Let's take a look at the top 10 events of high strangeness. Bulletproof wolf encounter. In the mid-1990s, Terry Sherman reported shooting a massive wolf, 3 times the size of a normal one, at close range with a rifle. But the bullets had no effect. The creature trotted off unharmed. This kicked off the ranch's modern paranormal fame, hinting at something impervious to physical attack. Dozens of cattle have been found dead over decades, often with precise bloodless incisions, organs removed surgically, no scavenger activity. A Season 5 episode 2024 of The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch tied a cow's sudden death to a UAP sightings overhead, amplifying the mystery of these reoccurring, unexplained killings. The Triangle area has been a focal point for UAP or unidentified aerial phenomena. In Season 1 of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch in 2020, the team documented 2 UFOs directly overhead, while Season 5 upped the ante with drones and helicopters capturing multiple fast-moving objects defying known aircraft behavior. High levels of radiation and radio frequency spikes plague the ranch, frying equipment and affecting people. Shape-shifting skinwalkers. Named after the Navajo legend, the ranch has reports of shapeshifters. Like the wolf or shadowy humanoid figures, witnesses, including neighbors, describe entities that morph and vanish. Glowing orbs, blue, orange, or white, have been spotted since the 1950s across the Uinta Basin, with many tied to the ranch. Drilling into the mesa revealed signs of a massive metallic objects underground, paired with odd seismic readings. Bigelow's team speculated about a hidden structure, fueling theories of ancient or alien tech beneath the surface. Time and space distortions. Stories of time slips or spatial glitches persist. Objects vanishing, voices from nowhere, or sudden disorientation. And finally, number 10, poltergeist activity. From the Sherman's tales of doors slamming and items moving around, reports of unseen forces at the ranch have haunted this place for years. Even Brandon Fugel's team has noted equipment malfunctions and eerie feelings at the homestead. This 512-acre puzzle is a cauldron of high strangeness. Bulletproof wolves shrug off gunfire, cattle turn up mutilated with surgical precision, and UFOs dance above the triangle. Portals flicker in the sky, electromagnetic spikes fry gear, and shape-shifting skinwalkers stalk the shadows. Globes end up appearing out of nowhere, and buried metal is in the mesa. Time-warping glitches and poltergeist chaos keeps this mystery alive. So what's at the heart of it? All right, let's do the remote view of the top 10 high strangeness of Skinwalker Ranch. First, that big wolf that Terry Sherman claimed that he shot. In my remote view, I do feel he shot a wolf and it was big. I do feel he slightly exaggerated that. I feel when I tune into him, I do feel a slight exaggeration, but I also feel it was such fear that overtook it or overtook him. And when he shot it, I feel like when he shot it, I don't know the story about it, but it feels like he felt he was close and he should have killed it. I don't feel that wolf died, and I do feel that wolf existed. It feels very true that he claimed that he shot it, and it also feels as if that wolf came. I'm going to give it to you like I get it. This is what I got in my remote view, so don't shoot the messengers. What I get. I do feel it came through a portal, and it feels like it came from like a portal in prehistoric times. When I tune into that wolf, I feel like it jumped, it went through a time portal. It was like if you are in the point of view of that wolf, it feels like you're here and you're there. It's like if you were a person, you'd be like, what the heck happened here? I feel that is a wolf from prehistoric times. It is definitely bigger. It's definitely there. I do feel it was shot, and I do feel it survived for a while. And I don't know that Terry Sherman ever saw it again. But yeah, I'm getting on the remote view. True story. Yes, it was bigger. And as odd as this is, I do feel it went through a time portal. That's what I get. All right, let's move on to the cattle mutilations. This was really bizarre when I tuned into it. And in fact, this part of my remote view unsettled me to the point where I had to back away, come back, see it again. I mean, I went back and forth several times. For you remote viewers out there, let me know if you have the same issue. All right, so what I get with the cattle mutilations and the UAPs showing up, I believe that is absolutely coordinated. That there are UAPs or UFOs in conjunction with the cows suddenly dying and even going into the cattle mutilations. But what I don't get is that it's tied to alien invasion or aliens in any way. I have to say, what I got in my remote view is that this is definitely part, how do I say that and not get banned on U of Tube? I get that there is a force on our planet that would very much like for us nosy humans to back away from certain places and sites, and also be very fearful of UFOs. And so it feels very man-made. So the technology I get is very sophisticated. It feels that the technology that this group of people has is, and I'll leave it to your own imagination to who that group of people is, but I'm sure we'll draw the same conclusion. But it feels that they really are trying hard to protect information about UFOs. The UFOs in of itself, I do believe they are showing up at or above Skinwalker Ranch or that area. I do feel it is alien in nature, and we're going to get to that. But what I also am picking up is that the mutilations or even abductions are actually man-made, and they're doing it for a reason. And I do feel they want us to fear the UFO. So it's multi-layered. So it's not like that's the only reason. It feels like there are a lot of reasons. Like imagine a government really retrieving a UFO, like in Roswell, and I do believe that's real too, and then doing a reverse engineer. They're going to want to keep that secret from other governments, because in order to stay free in their mind, that they need to have the upper hand when it comes to military. So, however, it feels to me that it's almost like a rogue. I'm sorry, it sounds so conspiracy theory, but I do feel that there is a rogue element out there that is trying to control all this. And don't you think that the UFOs are kind or anything like that? Oh no. Be afraid. Be very, very afraid. And here, let's give you evidence of why you need to be afraid. That's what I got with the cattle mutilations. They are real. They are tied to UAPs. They're unidentified and they're not being claimed by somebody in the know. But I do feel that it is being controlled by nefarious hoodle doers. I'll just leave it at that. And if you thought things weren't quite strange enough with the ginormous wolf and the cattle mutilations that are being performed by one of our own to create a fear context with the UFOs, UAPs, well, buckle up. This one gets even more weird. We're going to talk about now the UFO sightings over the triangle and what did I get in my remote view. All right, I'm putting myself out there. This is what I get. I do feel that there is a true UFO that crashed into the mesa. And when I remote viewed it, I didn't see that it actually got completely buried into the mesa. It feels like other UAPs may have come in and buried it there. I don't know. I feel energy, so it's energy directed, and this crumbling of this burying this craft. The reason they did it, and how I get it, the reason they did it is because they really didn't need the earthlings to go messing around it. I feel like it truly is of such advancement that we could so easily create a problem if we had our hands on it. Not intentionally, just because we're nosy and trying to reverse engineer stuff. And so I do feel it was intentionally buried to protect us from ourselves, if you will. Now, the UAPs that are currently being seen over Skinwalker Ranch, they feel unmanned to me, but it's almost like they're coming in, they're flying over, I feel like they're going through the mesa. So when we see that on the Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch, I feel it truly is some type of probe that is monitoring this downed craft. And the reason I feel like they have to monitor it is because it has such an energy that maybe we would not understand. And I feel like it's the one that is responsible for creating these wormholes that kind of come in and out of existence. So it's like there's a wormhole and it creates it back from here to prehistoric times, and the wolf jumps through. The other thing too, I think it can bring through interdimensional beings. So when we kind of go forward into the other issue that they're talking about, like the shape-shifting skinwalkers that can sometimes portray themselves as a wolf humanoid, or those creatures that sort of crawl with their hands and their feet. They're just odd looking. I feel like those are real and interdimensional, and I feel like they come and go through the Swiss cheese of these portals. Now, these portals, I feel like, can not only go into other dimensions, but I feel like that's sort of kind of because it's broke. I don't know what I'm saying here, but that's how it feels. It feels a little bit broke, and that it's like tuned into maybe. So sometimes it's other dimensions, and sometimes it's either things in our own past. And I also get interplanetary, so a wormhole. So it is creating these portals are wormholes. That's how it's coming in. The portals are wormholes. So I sort of got that all at once. So I did the UFO sightings, the portals and doorways in the sky that Terry Sherman and Linda Moten Howell talked about. They talked about these circular doorways in midair. I feel like this is all tied in, and it all begins, and it all surrounds this craft that is buried into the mesa. And like I said, when I remote viewed it, it was like it was crashed and partially buried. But I feel like who's ever in control of it has realized, and they need to go. And I feel like there was an entity being on board, but it had a death event at some point. And so they just buried it, and then they're keeping their eye on it. They're definitely keeping their eye on it. Now, whether or not they're going to stop us from digging it out, I don't know. I do feel that the power that it once had is I feel like it's diminishing. It feels like, so at some point, there would probably not be any anomalies there. But it is ground zero for all of this, except for the cattle mutilations, which I think is somebody related to us doing that. And if you think about it, if you're a country, and like I said before earlier, and you get this down craft that has this advanced technology, are you going to share it with the world? Oh, heck no. You're going to say, how can I use that to leverage myself up and create a power over somebody else? So when you're wondering why they won't disclose it, that's at the heart of it. For good or bad reasons, that's at the heart of it. But I think it's just becoming so prominent. People are talking, it's just way too much to contain. And now I feel like those that are trying to control the narrative about UFOs, it's almost like they have a sense that they're hurting rabbits, or hurting cats. It's just really hard to do. And disclosure's coming out. It is coming out. You're not going to be able to, okay, yeah, it's there. I know some of the people are making the argument that it may disrupt religions, and it might. It could. But I also think we're also getting so anesthetized to it, like, yeah, thank you for telling us something we already know. So I feel like the larger population is going to be like, versus like, what? So anyway, I think we'll just go ahead and wrap up this video. I was going to go ahead and talk about the unexplained lights and the buried secrets and the electromagnetic anomalies, the portals, but it all ties in with this crap that is buried into the mesa. And it's creating all of this. It's creating portals and wormholes, and they come and they go. And I think they're going to find it. So I don't know about y'all, but I will be watching The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. It comes out, I think, in late April. I think April 23rd, but you'll have to check. Don't take my word for it. I do believe it is then, and I am going to be watching that season because I am just curious about how much of this is right, because it feels this came in so right. It came in with such clarity. It wasn't even hard. So we'll see. I'm right a lot, but I can be wrong. My question is to y'all. Is how do you feel about it? What do you see going on? Remember, you can remote view too. And you can also be energy healers. So if you want to be an energy healer, then I invite you to go to mdhmap.com. And if you're new to energy healing, it'll walk you through it. And if you are an old hat Reiki healer, this will be your best companion you ever had. With that, thank you for watching. Please give it a like and a thumbs up for me. And maybe hit a subscribe button. All right. Stay tuned for more woo videos coming up soon. Take care.